Okay, colleagues, welcome to the Planning and Environment Committee meeting of Town Council on the 13th of October. Do we have any apologies for absence? Item 2, to note declarations of members' interests as they relate to the agenda. As the agenda has been sent out. Can we agree that the minutes of the previous meeting held on the 15th of September was a accurate record of the meeting?
I'll move it.
Okay, okay with that, colleagues. All right, thank you. So you got the one. It's all right. Yeah. You. Item 4, public participation. Have we received any comments from members of the public? Okay, let's move on. Right, item 5, to consider making a response to the following planning applications. The first one is 253078, which is 2 Bedford Street, and it's a side extension and a change of use of a redundant outbuilding to holiday. I presume that's holiday let. Right. Could we
this is the side existing on the left and
right. Can we well, at present it's basically a shed, for want of a better word. And they want to build an extension, make it like a small bungalow, I would suggest. Can you put the plan up of where we look down at the actual footprint of the building, and then we'll get an idea of where we are.
Well, number 2, it must be at the start of the road.
That's right. So Bedford Street, can you just drop a wee bit? That's right. So Bedford Street's there, number 2, and then here, the other side of the house to the right of that is Gresty Road. So we're at the Alex end.
Right.
Now, the alleyway would be accessing to, and I think that says 2 car parking spots, is it?
Yeah.
Yes. And then the building would be, that's as it is now, the one on the left, with that little box at the bottom left-hand corner. And then on the right would be the extension. So it would be here. That is as is.
Yeah.
Outbuilding, and then the outbuilding will be built on there to make that a footprint for a holiday. Right. And then you've got proposed additional car park. That says parking for 2 cars, and that is a house that's got full flats in as is now, and they're not touching that, they say. So that's what it is.
So it's not really an extension; it's plus.
It's plus. Now, if I may say before you come in, my observations where that is, I continually have to report the bins that are always stored on the pavement outside the house and in the alleyway. Now, if that's the access in, there has to be something that says, you know, you don't want to be wheeling the bins up. They're always perfect all around that. It's quite an eyesore, actually. But is this a way round HMOs?
But the other house you just said,
that's 4 flats in that
4
house.
flats.
And these will be a 1-bedroom holiday let.
Well, it's not really a side extension, is it? Because
No,
It's separate.
It's just the shed, isn't it?
it's
It's
not
not as if
connected.
it was. It's not as if it was an original brick building that's already there that they want to convert into the room.
It's self-contained, isn't it? When
Yeah.
you've got the plan, it's self-contained. There's no that. It's just the access down the alleyway,
Yeah,
and the fact that they say holiday let, which
well, that's,
could well be mean that it could well be you would have to have something in there that says it has to be holiday let and not
Not
in
let
Chambers
it
Park,
not permanent, yeah.
because it's quite a lot of HMOs around that area. It's quite available
Yeah,
parking wise and everything else. Two comments from neighbours, isn't there?
yeah,
Yeah, I agree with number 7.
That's the way. I didn't believe the building was used all of that.
Or and number 9, yeah.
Cover HMO and parking problems. I didn't believe the building was used all of that. We're using permanent housing and not using purpose intended. It's an observation, isn't it? So
Yeah.
But it's not a site extension.
it's not something.
Excuse me.
It's a separate building.
Building to the back of the house, as far as I can see.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. I mean,
It's building on what is the outbuilding, which will be a shed
yeah,
in their backyard,
yeah.
and making it into a bungalow
well.
like that. I mean, you know, when you look at it, it's quite fair to say, quite impressive.
Not,
Isn't it?
nothing to guarantee it's going to be a
Well,
holiday let. You could have somebody in there all the time, couldn't you? You know,
Which is a way round.
permanent.
Yeah.
It's actually connected.
No.
It's separate, isn't it?
Completely separate. Because if you looked up that first one,
Yeah.
it's just basically a shed at the bottom of the garden.
They're extending the footprint of the shed, aren't they? By
Yeah.
X amount of inches.
Oh, yeah, consider it.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you look there, as it is now, I'm sure this is still there. This is the way in, and that's by the side of one of the rooms, that's the kitchen there. So, and this is as an outbuilding. So then, what they're doing is reconfiguring that to make it a car park, and then using that and then building to the holiday let, and that says in registered.
Yeah.
So it's not touching, it's completely.
Although you said that, does it adjoin what is
No.
I can't read what that says.
No.
That building on the there.
It's
Oh.
one
Can you read what it says on that?
concrete slabs to be replaced with gravel. Concrete just says concrete slabs on those ones.
No, it's not connected. There's no way it's connected. It's like a shed now, and it's going to be a bungalow, which would observation from neighbours. So
That'll be a brick building, won't it?
Yeah.
yes,
Be an extended shed.
yeah. So to me, it's that an access.
It's not enough parking spaces, parking there. You've got 4 flats there and 2 parking bays, and then 1 parking bay there. So there's not enough parking space there for recycling.
Several could just fill it. You can't pass to the right because it's on the corner. It's right on the corner.
So to the right, you've got houses on Westy Road, haven't you?
Well, what you've
right
got,
of the alleyway.
yeah, what you've got there is that's like a rear yard. That one to the right of the alleyway, and then there's the house, and then it's Bessie
Have
Road.
we got the street map up there? On there? It'll give us a better
Yeah,
idea.
put the one with the one that'll give us the that's it.
That's it.
See that?
That makes sense.
Yeah,
See that's like an outbuilding for this. Because these are flats.
Yeah.
yeah,
And then you've got the Alex is here.
yeah.
You've got that, so there's no parking there. And then, as I say, bins all along there.
Yeah.
When you go, and then that's their entrance into the holiday let. And 7 and 9 are here.
Yeah.
So there's lots of things.
Yeah.
It is quite peculiar because Manning Street is one of those unusual streets that has no addresses on it.
Oh,
And that's recollection.
Right.
Yeah, that little bit is between about number 8 and number 10
Right.
off Bedford Street. But going down that is solidly parked. at different
So what-
times.
What do we
Plus,
want?
plus the street on street parking.
I'm against it.
It's not a side extension.
Just adding to the crowd.
Completely separate,
Yeah.
completely separate to 4 flats, which in this plan, they don't mention it, just says, it's 4 flats, that's it.
It's not an extension,
No,
it's my
It's a new
mind.
building.
It's a separate building.
it's a separate building.
Yeah, and I do wonder about the alleyway between houses in Gresty Road and well to the and actually houses to the rear of Dario Gradi Drive. I wonder if that's actually alligated.
It is alligated, that is.
I mean, again, there's an issue there of the suitability of the access, isn't there?
You-
Because
you know
if it's a
the-
holiday let and you have then basically you get in, you need technically speaking, you need a key to the alley gate to get in. So a bit doubtful about the access.
So there's gates at the end.
Yeah.
On Bedford Street.
Yeah.
I mean, very early lot, by the way,
Mm.
because as I say, it's to this massive winds.
You know the
But
area.
it's completely separate. I think that's the key.
Does anybody else park their cars along back of Cresty Road? Those houses?
I've no idea how
No?
that study, but people park down Manning Street because, like Steve said, there's no houses,
Right.
and Bedford Street's heavily congested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
But I was just wondering if anybody else parks their car at the back of their gardens in Gresty Road. Because if that's alleyway there and they get cars down it, to me that would say that.
Well, there's
You're going to struggle to get an emergency access down there. You struggle to get a fire engine down there. Barely get an ambulance down the back of there. It's unreal in that hole.
okay. Well, I would.
It's rather
So when-
similar, don't you think? There was a property in Stonebridge Road, remember the one, which
Yeah,
is
50.
adjacent to
52A.
an alleyway,
Yeah.
an alley gate. And there was, maybe still is, a building to the back, which was supposed they wanted to convert to housing. In fact, I think it did. I don't know quite what happened to all that, but there was that issue of access, ease of access. That's a lot of thing. Anyway, it's all in there.
Right.
Yeah, well, that was 52A Strawberry Road. That got stopped because you had to only way in was through the alley. Yeah, so that was like you from with taxes saying
Yeah.
you're not going through that. You're not going through the house to the back, are you? You're actually going down an alleyway,
Yeah.
unlit alleyway.
It's not ideal, is it?
And it's not necessarily you might not have a car, but you're going down an unlit alleyway to the holiday let.
Yeah.
So, right, what do we want to say? We object to it, or
Yeah.
I think we should.
Yeah.
as
reject it.
observations? So on.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd
I
like to
agree.
object to it.
Yeah.
On the grounds that it's not feasible for anybody to park their car there.
I suppose it's the quality of access, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the individual down the dark alleyway, and it's not an extension as such because it's got to be treated separate.
Yeah.
Anywhere else they call it backland development,
Lands developed.
wouldn't they?
Proper access.
And that's no different, is it? I mean, if you don't know associate it with Bedford Street, but if that was in more leafy areas, it would be backland development, wouldn't it? You'd look on that, and you'd look at access, and you'd look at all sorts.
That's
And I
right.
think we should treat this one the same. So, have you got?
I've got all sorts of bits there. The dark alley access, not feasible for parking, and it's not an extension, it's entirely separate.
Yeah.
Well,
And then just a reference to the neighbours' concerns.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So you made that list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the next one, which is the Bridge Inn, 167 Rose Street, the closing date was that, and I know that I've submitted a comment on our behalf because of the time when we got it, and I felt that there was a number of concerns by residents who lived in Lime Street, and this is what, it's on page 7, we'll come to it, but I'm just going to capture it there. It is, Town Planning Committee supports all the concerns raised by residents and suggests that in the event of any application approval, a condition is included to prohibit future conversion of the annex into residential accommodation. Because that was the fear, it's going to be separate, it's a kitchen, but it looks, when you looked at it, it looked like that could well be a takeaway, because there's no connection between there and the pub. So it leads you to believe that's and that's fair. But if something happened to the pub in future times, then
Yeah.
we'll come to that at 7 officially, but that's what somebody done. If that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one then, 2532. It's new signage and extraction canopy to 5456 Nantwich Road. I don't normally make some comment there. I think this is going to be a burger bar, isn't it, next to the pig?
It is.
Yeah.
So
It used to be a takeaway thing, didn't it?
Used to be
It used to-
Henshaw used to be
an insurance company, and it was a bike shop.
Yeah, bike shop.
Them little
Yeah.
bikes.
Guy
It's now
Clarence.
it's going to be welcomed, and it's a.
Sandwich, is that the one?
Yeah.
Sandwich bar?
We don't want to take too much time on this one.
No.
Leslie, you want beef. That's just for you. That
Yeah.
you want beef. Proposed front elevation.
Well, no one's approached me.
Well, I'll tell you what, we ring it up and say, eat meat, come on. Anyway, let's get serious, planning meeting. So we know, the only thing is, would be the observation of where the extract, would that have any impingement on? Would that impinge on the pig?
Well, they could have an
No.
extraction pan or whatever it is,
Yeah.
somewhere.
But surely,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought.
surely an extraction pan would go up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think
Well, it's just
Can it?
Show the extraction system on the plans, doesn't it?
Okay.
No, I mean if it's just basically an advertising thing. No,
Extraction.
I suggest no comments.
Extraction can be too easy.
Yeah, no comment.
Okay. No comment?
No.
No comment. Next one is 25, 34, 32, 89 Rolls Avenue. And this is a retrospective application. What a many tonight, by the way. For erection of a rear dormer extension to create additional habitable space within the loft. It's clearly already been done. And whatever the 3432.
Has there been any complaints about it being put just up in the room from the
Well,
neighbours?
there's nothing in that.
I haven't seen anything.
There's nothing in that, and then it's you know, there's nothing around it and all that. Clearly, he felt they didn't have to give it permission, and now he has had to ask for it.
Doesn't really affect anybody else, does it?
It's in the rear. I think he's got a long statement that just says that it's at the rear and it's within keeping, and he hasn't got it. It's not as if it's close to the next. It's on
Yeah.
That backs onto the new cemetery, doesn't it?
No, this is Rose Avenue.
Okay.
If you just
No, sorry, I was thinking of Badger.
could you put the one up where it is, like we did, you know,
Yeah.
and then that'll get us an idea if there's anything close. So that's the only. But it's not a bit of an extension on the back, as it? I mean, it's there.
Oh, it's not really bothering anybody, is it?
There's nothing. It's just this retrospective. You just wonder why they don't think they have to do it. But anyway, that's. I don't think there's anything, is there? On that?
No.
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 David?
No comment.
No comment. Now, 35 Tynedale, this was up today, where proposed local use of an existing lane to conservatory and replace it with a 3 metre deep single story extension. If you just put so we just get a feel. again, he's not. Doesn't seem to have anything round, does it?
No, looks as if he's extending the back of his house, same length as next doors.
It looks like it's coming out, doesn't it? Well, I did look at the time when it was up, but it didn't look to me. It's 3 metres deep, well, I think that's within the boundaries what they can do without deep, probably are. It's single story, so it's not going up. So,
Yeah, no,
you okay?
yeah,
I'm out with that.
yeah.
Next one then is 25, 36, 89, Radius Campus, Emperor Way. Prior approval. Hey, solar photovoltaic, non-domestic. Basically, they're putting a few more solar panels on the roof.
Yeah,
Unless anyone wants to go and chat to Bruce about
no,
that, shall we move on?
yeah,
We'll
So
applaud their,
the electric bill.
applaud their initiative. That's what's that. 25, 35, 84, 239 Manor Way. Prior approval, single story extension to the rear of the dwelling to create a larger open plan kitchen / family / dining area, extending 4 metres beyond the rear wall. Maximum height of 3.8 metres, the use height of 2.5.
beyond the rear.
239 Manor Way. Is that's at going out to Old Campus Road, is it?
Yeah, the big house,
They're
yeah.
big.
All Stanwich Road then.
They're quite big houses, aren't they? Then?
Yeah, lots of space around.
Excuse me for being a bit slow, but what does it mean by beyond the rear wall? Because to me, the rear wall is the end of the garden.
No, in this case it was a house near the wall.
Oh, sorry, right.
It's not taking over what looks like
Is that going back into the front? Not taking down.
Yeah, I've had a,
the
hard week.
balancing point. So it basically an extension on the rear of his property. Obviously, it goes. They have to have permission because of the size of it. But again, does that take any light off or anything off the
No,
next door? It looks.
And
looks
it's
all right.
Oh, yes.
Has there been any comments from the neighbour?
No, there's no comment.
Semi.
You know, there's nothing. There's nothing. It's not.
I mean, I think that's the point, isn't it? If there's no, the neighbour hasn't objected. Well, they're
No.
the people that was it 241,
So-
whichever joins it.
So
The house that's going to be most affected.
yeah.
yeah,
So again,
yeah,
you see.
right, okay,
Hey, that's it, mate, they're all-
yeah, carry on.
Okay, so next one then, 253388, 42 Evans Street. Change of use from C3 residential to C2 children's home.
Yes.
Well, again, this is one of many we've seen in recent times. And again, we support that, but we have to know car park, it's in a built up area, isn't it, Evans Street, terrace houses and so on.
Yes.
I think the only problem with that there is parking, isn't it?
I think that's again what we put, haven't we, and not the other ones. It's always interesting to read because of the number we've had, and you know, and we support that, don't we? We know it,
Yes.
don't we? The put for these caveats is that in this one it'll be for 2 children between 8 and 18. There will be a crew of 9, and they'll work a 48-hour shift and having 96 hours off. So that's like 2 days on, 4 days off. And then there's a shift change of the night because they've obviously got to have 24/7. So the way that they're rostered, you know, which is slightly different than the other house. You see, I mean, this is not planning by, it's just so we understand
Yeah.
what's in.
So there'll be 3 people on duty during the day.
So that there'd be no more than 2 unless it's a changeover.
Yeah,
But then obviously how they do it now.
one at night.
One of them will drop off and then that'll be their second night. So there's a continuation. So there's it's quite complex and it's quite, I would imagine, quite expensive.
Yeah.
But it's a statutory duty of Cheshire East, if it is in Cheshire East, to look after these children because of their great needs. And it does say that the needs are so great.
Right.
So again, I think it would be parking, wouldn't it?
Parking's the only thing I can see.
Although they do have a plan where it says that there's a company car, one company car, encourage the people to get their public transport any other way, but only have one car parked up, presumably wherever they're based.
Yeah.
I mean, that's in there, right? I mean, that's.
Does it talk about any? Is there like a parking space at the front of the house?
No, I don't know.
On the
No.
curtain.
No, because I think
So we have a look at.
I think that's a terraced house.
No, it's a terrace house. Yeah.
Some of them have them.
It's just an ordinary terrace.
Jam-packed parking on the street.
Yeah.
Because some people got two cars on the street.
There'll be a picture on the just of the street, just
next door.
What
Yeah.
was it saying? I mean, there was some, and they got very little gardens. But some
there you
places-
go. It's a bit like my house. It's a forecourt,
Yeah.
a small forecourt to a pavement. Probably access to the Vienna maybe, but doesn't suggest that. So no, so that'll be a, usual. So I think parking. We don't object to children's zones or so because.
As long as there's none.
Right.
There were no other concerns about the particular property. Not saying there are, but there have been certain properties that have been called in the past. Certainly think of one which has been has had a
Well, I think what they say. I mean, what they put in their defence, they say that there'll be no more people in that than would be a family. It's not
overcrowded, is it?
No crowding. It'll be 4 people, wouldn't it? 2 children and two adults.
Yeah.
So that way you're not talking about 7 HMOs, are we?
No.
7
Yeah.
bedrooms, well, service. Right. So item 6 then. To consider making responses to any planning application consultations that have arisen since the agenda was published. Now this is quite a long one, and this might not be exhaustive.
Yeah, that did.
So you've actually printed this one forward for tonight's meeting. Well, that wasn't put on the notice board, No. So this is one what we would have delivered tonight. This is So the first one would be 253538, which is an advertisement consent for the installation of a new 10-metre long Bentley Wings logo to the west elevation of the new building paint shop building.
That's within the premises that is. It's not common.
Well, Yeah, don't put that plan up. I spent 42 years into that.
Biased, you're not biased, John, are you?
Declare interest.
You want to vacate the children?
I went into that footprint, man and boy. Right, okay, seriously. 253558, the works, full application of HVAC and advertising consent. And if we can take the next one with it, which is 3660, it's an application of advertisement consent for signage for Greg's moving into the art shop that was next to Halifax. And so it's just really an advertisement consent.
Does it actually explain what HVAC is?
It's air conditioning and ventilation.
Oh.
So actually, one would be.
They're grabbing new air conditioning.
Oh no. Yeah, it's frustrating. When you get it wrong, you think, well, yeah, one is for the extracts again, and then one is for the great sign. So
And that's going into the Halifax.
they're working on that shop as
Yeah.
it is now. Yeah. Oh, yeah, next to Halifax. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the one, Greg's, and then that one on the right there used to be a look with this air conditioning in it. That's what it'll be, air conditioning, won't it?
Those 3 flats.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in that 2 box.
Oh, right.
Just wonder what HVAC does for, you know,
Just it's heating, ventilation.
air conditioning.
Air conditioning.
And just to put some meat on the bone, we're going Greg's out. Section through the AC cassettes. So that's a cross section there of those that do it. Okay. So we've no comment now, other than welcome Greg's to the
Unless we ask for a site visit,
The fact that they-
check it out, check it out. One last
Sausage
time.
rolls.
the fact that this
You
is
can't
all
be
the time
right,
by
Steve.
Spain is worth it.
Not with a sausage roll.
Okay.
Well, I can't bribe him with the sausage roll. Needs to be a bit more
Right.
substantial.
Two at least.
Right, okay, lads, thank you, and ladies, colleagues, councillors. Get it right in the end. 253643, 100 West Street. This is our second of the retrospective. Change of use from first floor from commercial to residential, one bed, one person, with ground floor to remain as a shop. And there's a picture here of what it is now because they've already done it. So they should have floored it as a flat and not three beds. And it's sort of halfway down on the left, just past the, is it Bright Street or? Yeah, that's as it was obviously when it was upstairs,
Yeah.
top floor there and that, and then that's the storage. And now it's already built, so there, so it's still got the downstairs the same storage, but on this side, living room, shower, kitchen and bedroom, so it's a one bedroom flat, which is what we actually encourage, don't we?
Yeah.
It's more quality than,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
but again, it's retrospective, they probably, you know.
Tell
They haven't done anything, have they? If you look in size wise, when you look at the one storage upstairs stack, that's it. So they haven't really reconfigured it. They've just got the storage a living room, haven't they? And anyway, do you want to make any comment to that? Or,
Tell them they're naughty. You should have asked permission first.
I suppose.
Well, it is.
From some of the Bratton locals.
Again, are there any comments against it?
do you want to make any comment?
No,
Were there
Yeah.
any comments on against?
it's already done. There's no
What's the shop?
I can't remember which shop it is.
Just trying to think which shop it is there.
I think it's one of them that's near that paper shop.
Near the,
Do you know one is it? One's gone to like an Indian supplies. Where you got your paper shop,
yeah, you got your paper shop.
come back.
Then
Come
the
towards,
next one to it is an Indian shop.
Yeah.
So yes, you know where it is.
I think that's there, yeah.
Right.
There you are,
Oh, I see. Yes.
between Lincoln and
Oh,
Wright
right.
Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's,
So next door is the paper shop.
Yeah,
mm,
yeah, somewhere there, isn't it? So
yeah.
they've done it, it's retrospective, so
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
It's okay.
I think that
no
was-
comment
I
then.
think that was converted to a shop.
The next one then, 253661 13 Ardern Avenue, a single story extension to the rear of the dwelling. This is the Ardern Avenue is off at Aldersea Road at the top there. We're thinking,
Especially if it's all over, you've got to confirm
It's
the
every
deal
time,
before you can actually.
Mine doesn't do that. Well, mine have three old days, you know, because I'm not.
Well, I'm good.
When I do it, it turns around and says, no, you're not.
right, so let's just have it again. There's your footprint.
Yeah.
It's a single story with that bit that comes out in the middle. Go and have a look. See it. Oh, it's some bungalow. Yeah, there's some bungalows up there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't seem to be.
Well, if the neighbours ain't complained about it,
There's no comment, is there?
no.
It's okay. Right.
Three Eggleston Road.
So, this is another two retrospectives.
Food
Again,
shop.
this one and the next one are the same. It's a new shop front, signage and additional ventilation. This is the one between High Street and Oak Street. One of the many. It's a very busy. It's been done. It's been done months.
Right.
It's the one there. It's like next door to the opening to the Green House.
It's
It's a bit like a burger,
Oh.
kebab or whatever.
Oh,
they call it.
oh,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
that
They
one.
can eat in.
Shawarma
A shawarma.
place, yeah.
Yes, that's
That's
it.
it.
You can eat in there as well as,
Yes,
and
yeah.
it's quite popular. But again,
Yeah.
why they didn't think they had to put planning application, because you know it's that's it there. So again, no, we have to. Shawarma
fits into the area, doesn't it?
right.
It certainly does.
25, 37, 95, single.
We can't comment, can we, on the kind of dominance of such places in certain areas.
Well,
I mean, the public will, oh no, not another shawarma house, or no, oh no, not another burger joint, or whatever it is. But that's not a
What's a
planning.
shawarma house?
No, because it's
Slice
sliced.
that Turkish type meats, you know. Is
Oh,
it
what,
like
kebab house?
Kebab, yeah, that's
clearly, Steve, to answer you, it's not really planning thing.
no.
Nobody's forced to go anywhere to buy anything that they want. Right.
Yeah, and,
So-
and I'm just highlighting that thing that a common objection probably would be why we've got enough of these already. There's already 2 or 3 down the same
Oh,
stretch of road, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And you would have said, as a Cheshire East on planning Southern
It is
planning,
material.
you would have said, how can you stop them when somebody else is already there? Because they would say, well, hang on, I've got it, you can't object.
It's all to say it's not a material.
It's not
consideration.
material.
Right.
Right, 37.95. Already, thank you for getting that up and moving us on. 5 Ash Road, single story rear extension to create ground floor bedroom and bathroom to aid the comfort and safety of a disabled person. So, single story, I guess that is
Yeah.
what they wanted them rear then. Parent bedroom, shower. Again, it's just looking what presumably next door semi, the semis aren't they down in Ash Road. It's whether there's one assumes that number 3 Ash Road has got some form of little extension, hasn't they? Whether it's a lean-to or what. When you look at that plan, and we just look at that plan then. Number 3 there has got a little bit coming out, hasn't it?
Yes.
So they've got something there anyway
Yeah.
now, haven't they? And then that 5 wants to come out with the obvious extension over the young killing. There's another view, isn't there, as well? That
Yes.
probably just get that coming up there. That one on the right there. That one there, yeah. I think we might get it if you touch on. I know. Well, I just wonder whether we could just probably obviously don't want
All right. So
the privacy next door, do we?
That probably looks like a footprint already, doesn't it? That little block.
yeah.
Yeah, probably. So again, what do you want to make any comment?
No.
As,
Seems reasonable.
we're finished. Is that, we have no more comments in? Oh,
That's all part two on.
right. So item 7 is to make this formal, there's no responses from within the delegation since the previous meeting, and that's what we spoke about earlier, the bridging 253400.
Yeah.
And those are the comments that we submitted in between meetings. What we will do, if we get any, do you know how we did it previously, if there's something that's coming up between meetings, Pete used to put in a chat and then we'd send out to yourselves and then say, well, it's Tuesday day, if you make any comment before Friday, always submit. I think we'll get into, once we get in, we'll get into that, it'll be fine. And then we don't let anything drop off. Okay, item 8 then, to note and consider correspondence, consultations, planning policy and members' items. I believe we have two bits of correspondence.
I circulated an email which I think was mentioned on my discourse, which was an invite to meet with Haskins Parish regarding application. That's the only.
Yeah, there's a second one. Well, so we take that first. That's the one that there was an invite that came that was sent to the interim clerk, to the clerk, and from the clerk of Haslington Parish Council, and then that was not answered because one as soon as the new clerk would be started, and they then wrote to me as the chair of the planning committee, which it's not something I would need to consult with the clerk before I do anything. But because we've got this meeting, I said we could do that under correspondence. So if I could just set the backdrop to this particular item, which is the Crewe Northern Gateway Phase 3, which is extending Phase 1 and 2 out. I think you access it off More Green Road, is it?
Yeah.
And I printed off because it was the meeting in June, we had it, and of course we don't, then it followed up with the July, and then we don't meet in August, so it got a little bit. But on the minutes from the planning and environmental meeting on the 23rd of June, we discussed the Northern Gateway Phase 3, and it was about 6 pages that they submitted just as a document, not just to us, but to everybody that matters, all the council, house councils and so on. And we discussed that at that meeting, and I brought this because this is key. And it says, at the meeting of Crewe Town Council Planning and Environment Committee last night, so we held our meeting on the 23rd, so this was sent in an email from the then town clerk, Pete Turner, to the Mullers who were running this business. And what we've said at that meeting, it says, without prejudicing any future associated planning application consideration by the committee had the following comments that they would be keen to explore with developers of scale. 1, that shared green spaces are welcomed in Crewe, and particularly on new developments as opportunities for community well-being, net biodiversity gain, environmental enhancements, and potentially runoff drainage mitigation. That the sustainable long-term delivery and management of these spaces should be considered at an early planning stage. That subject to associated transfer transitional funding, e.g. via S136 agreement or formal contract agreement and transfer, Crewe Town Council may consider adopting / accepting community shared spaces and stewarding them for the benefit of the community as asset owners. The allotment provision as a benefit for the community, and Crewe Town Council may consider adopting / accepting stewardship of them for the benefit of the community as asset That Crewe Town Council should be engaged in considerations for long-term ownership and management of such spaces at the earliest opportunity to ensure sustainable transfer and future delivery. Now that was what was discussed at our meeting, and that reflected and was sent off to the Mullers. That resulted in July of the 28th, an online meeting between myself, Pete, and 2 representatives of Muller to basically discuss or pan that out or whatever they came from. And all that was basically reiterating that and their discussion, and they welcome, we look forward to meeting in the future. And basically when there's a planning application that goes in, which I think they indicate maybe in November, that then they'd have further, we'd make other comments. So there was nothing given from ourselves, so it was just basically that going through where you're coming from, and basically the emphasis was this application looked like it got green spaces in, which is not what we've had in Rotherham one. You know, it started with a playground in, before you know where it's shrunk and it's on the road, you know. So there was nothing, that's the minutes, and that was what was gone forward. So that's the position we're in. Now the town, Haslington Parish Council, Claire, wants potentially to have a meeting which is not official, it's just an informal chat. Now I don't know whether we should have informal chats or not, that's why I'm going into the depth of this. It's certainly, if there was any conversation, they have to be between the town clerk in the first instance anyway, because obviously that's key. It's not for us. So what do you think? All that up in abeyance until such times as we, Liz it's familiar. I don't know. But nothing was. That's what, and as Peter's pointed out, it's not. Nothing's been agreed. It's just our observation, because those plans we've all had them. They were sent out to us, and if you just put Crewe Northern development in, it comes up the path does, doesn't it? So anybody want? So the question is, do we want to meet from Steve?
So I'm assuming this. I wasn't able to attend either of those meetings, as you know, Chair. So I didn't study the paperwork for obvious reasons. Is all of this proposed sites within Crewe Town's boundaries?
No, it isn't, is it? It's Moor Green, which goes up to Clay Lane, which I believe is part.
Well, this is what I'm wondering, is the exact location of the development. I mean, because it'll be on the boundary, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's down Moor Lane to the Haslington side of the railway, railway. I'm not sure quite where the boundary is through town or for Haslington. That might be why I'm assuming that's. I'm assuming that's maybe why they want to have a discussion. But that's something that would want to clarify. But if there's a planning application coming forward in the not too distant future, it would have to say that anyway, exactly where it lies. And on the face of it, we don't. If it's in our area, then we'll have to make some comments, and they can. Mullers, that's the development.
Yeah, Mullers.
They've got an idea of what we might seek should it come to us. And I don't know what Haslington's views might be. But whatever we say, whatever our view turns out to be, will have to be based on the planning application and this exact location. I mean, an interesting, and I think myself, it's at this point, if we don't know exactly what to propose, it's premature to have a discussion, and actually it'd be quite appropriate. I mean, what Haslington seek will obviously want to do is to have a common front. You know, the responses from the two councils make sense. They're coherent. In other words, everybody, and there may be differences of view about it all, but it depends exactly where the application is. You know, so there is a green gap, there's a policy of Cheshire's Council and through Natchez Council for that having green gaps between different segments, between Hassington and through Williston and Williston and Shavington and all that sort of stuff. But until you actually see the detail of what they're proposing, I mean, did those plans that were set out, did they actually show exactly?
Yeah, they were full
If I,
streets and everything.
sorry. If I remember right, Jeff, the plans of the houses go up nigh on to the bypass. If I remember right, I might be wrong, but in which case, where is the boundary? Because
We don't go as far as
Doesn't go that far.
so therefore, if these houses are being built up to the bypass, then obviously Haslington and us, there's going to be somewhere where it overrides each other.
The bypass, the building by the bypass now, aren't they?
Yeah.
The Umford Road roundabout, the building there. This one is way further on. And if you take a circle and you cut it into, into three, phase 1, 2, and phase 3 like fits in that there. So it doesn't go out that much that way. It just fills a gap between 1 and 2. And it's that pack it's in the pack that was sent out at that meeting. So if you look on the loop, I take a view that until we see what the final they submit, because we have to make a decision based on what we feel is best for Crewe. And I respect anybody who's looking after their parish, and I respect the view of Haslington, but that should not. And I won't want to get into a position. I know we're only parish council, but I don't want to get in a position where it could be accused that we've already spoke before it's and take it. You know, I think we should do that at the right time, maybe, but then again, in consultation with the clerk.
Well, I think for openness and transparency, I mean, the informal approach was made by, and then these things do happen, and you know, anything that's said or discussed is without prejudice, must be. But when the planning, I think it should wait until the planning application has been submitted, then we know exactly what it is, and at that point, I would say the discussion should be quite open and transparent. So in any informal meetings, well, that's actually suggesting that we have a common plan with a. The only common plan actually that is of any relevance, I'd say, is well, what does the local plan have to say about it? Because if it's a big development, it's a couple of $100,000, it will in any case go to probably the Southern Planning Committee or strategic planning, or whatever. Will go to a planning committee, and it will be determined on the basis of policy. So something like a local green gap policy would be important. I think until we see exactly what's proposed, it is advisable to thank them for their approach, and say, "Oh, we'll think about them." They can. I mean, if that's been published anyway, those comments have been they've been published. They're in the minutes.
Well, that's what I said.
They're in the minutes. They can basically refer.
I've got this on an email, I haven't seen.
I mean, they could be referred to that, you know, this is a sort of preliminary view taken that was expressed without prejudice, and they can look at that and form their own opinion. Beyond that, we're talking about planning application. You haven't got the details, and I don't know how they need to do that.
But surely we need to know where the boundary is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, that's not-
Particular
I
plan.
think-
How much of it is actually encroaching to Aston?
But we'll find that out when there's the official
Yeah.
plan. So what we're saying here, we got this right, is that at this point in time, we'll get the town clerk to write formally back to their clerk to say that when there is a planning application, then we'll
Consider
We
that
look
a
forward to
decision.
meeting you.
I think it's.
yeah, we don't commit ourselves to meet, we'll make our mind up there. But I just, as I say, I respect their view and that, but I don't want to, it's more important that we represent.
I'm
So-
only going from memory, which is not very good nowadays, John. But if you go down Moor Green Meadows, new houses are being built. The last time it seemed to be going nearer and nearer to Aslington, the second phase. And if this third phase is going to be soon, I should imagine, then that's when we need to start talking with Aslington. But
Well-
I agree with Kevin. We need to know exactly where the boundary is.
Well, that's what
That
we did.
green, if that green space is totally within the crew town boundary, then that green space becomes our responsibility. If I understand that right. But if part of it is what is part of Aslington, then who owns what?
Yeah. So that's why we need to know.
I would suggest to you that, I mean, we could do it now, but I could suggest that you just put in, it was in the pack, the actual northern gateway phase 3 was, and it's several pages, and it's very thorough, and there's coloured pictures and plans, and even down to the to the streets. It's not a pack of a fag packet. This what we like to. They're actually been quite close. Yes, put it up. Yeah. And you get an idea. You get an idea then. And but I do think whatever we do, it has to be after the. Well, we'll get it.
Northern,
It's Crewe Northern Gateway, phase 3. That was it. You know, they're not. This is not a. These are built lots of houses on that area.
Yeah.
We're not going to come up one way or the other about it. Well, we all know our concerns that if it followed that we've got the doctors and the schools and everything else, then this is all welcome, but we never have them, and that's
That's
where
right.
the concern.
It's that big patch.
See, there's 1 and 2, isn't it?
yeah,
One in the red,
Yeah.
then 2, and then they're filling it in there. That's 3 there. Now the issue is, John, this is right. That'd be more green road up there, won't it?
Yeah. On the left.
That's the bypass. Is that?
That's the bypass.
That's the bypass there, but they're already up to it, aren't they? Phase 1.
So I mean, I'm trying to picture exactly where this is. Honestly, I'm
So let's
struggling.
keep going.
But when
It's all good, Kev.
there must be,
Yeah. Primary access side, there you go.
I just want to see. I'd love to see it on a bigger map.
No, let's just
See
let,
where it
let's
is.
before we
More
move
green
on,
one.
let's
Yeah.
just get that said. The proposal, phase 1 and 2 to the connecting Sydney Road, a secondary access proposed to west linking to Moor Green Road. As part of the proposal, the Spine Road will link Moor Green Lane to Hercombe Way and Sydney Road. So we're over
Yeah.
that way.
It's that big new road.
Now it's where 3 is, you see, that doesn't say that.
As you go.
So that's what they've done there. Together, these 40 million from phase 3 British legacy. Full details of phase 3 there.
Yeah.
On that corner.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
fast.
think there's a colour, like
I
that's
think
it.
it's a side entrance in Sydney Road.
Yeah,
Just
yes,
like
yeah.
virtually on top of the ground.
Oh, right, yeah, I know, I've seen that.
Well, that's the land there.
You can see. I want to see it on a bigger map.
See there? The planning there, you see, yeah. They are.
Right.
that helps, doesn't it? No, that's they can no longer go. Oh, no, it's.
What's that road to the left? Is that the
That's
bike?
Sydney Road.
Is that Sydney Road?
Is it?
I don't think
Alright.
it is. I think that's the bypass.
I don't think it.
But,
Well, yes, sir, wouldn't it?
but I can't remember seeing houses every time I've gone down the bypass.
That road on the left, that's a bypass, isn't
I
it?
think so.
Well, that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Is it?
No.
Well, it looks like it for me, because it looks as if it's set out as a dual carriageway. But I would say that is the bypass.
Well, let's not speculate. Let's
No,
not
no.
know.
I go down the bypass quite a lot. And at no stage have I looked over and seen any houses.
No.
So is there something in the way? Yeah.
Click to
There's a
the
sign
side.
on the left-hand side, isn't there?
Is there any reference to any?
That's
name?
right.
Phase 2,
No.
phase 1. There's a side entrance there.
Whereabouts?
So when the new, as you come to the roundabout, that new big roundabout,
What, sitting through green?
yeah,
Right.
and you're coming down, and on your left-hand side, is the housing estate there.
That's not a road. Down on the left, that's the railway line.
Yeah.
That is the
It's
railway
not,
line.
it's not the bypass.
I was
That.
going to say.
So you're talking about going up Moor Lane.
Yes.
There's the bridge. You can see on the left-hand side of that
Yeah.
diagram. Here you've got
Right.
more green tip
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
north.
Yeah.
Then
That's
you've got the road sort of angles round. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so I'm not sure myself. Yeah, I don't know where the boundary is.
Talking here, aren't you now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the railway.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you've got a road here.
That's Moor Green
That's
Road.
Moor Lane, or whatever.
Right,
So,
was it? Yeah.
Going then through and away.
But then it joins up with Clay Lane, doesn't it?
Just correct. That one,
Yeah,
that's two. And that'll be the
And
third.
they've been accessed from Sydney Road,
Yes.
I can see, which is down to the bottom left-hand corner. There,
Oh, it's
Yeah.
there, is it?
that's Sydney Road. And there's Sydney Road Bridge, where the hand is
Yeah,
on the map.
yeah.
That's Sydney Road Bridge. So you're talking about different access.
So they're getting it from that
So the Herbert Street, it must be going
No.
down.
one further up.
Well, if it's, sorry, John, but if that's the Sydney Bridge, railway bridge, then where that red line is,
Yeah.
there's got to be somewhere around Herbert Street.
Yeah, but aren't they new houses that go again the railway line? As you go over the
Yes,
bridge,
they
you
are.
take a left.
That new estate down at
New
your right,
estate.
sorry,
I
yeah.
think that's who put the line.
Okay,
Anyway, let's not get dog
No.
nuts. We haven't
Well,
got
I
the,
mean, it's
we haven't
so
got
far
the
over.
plan.
It's so far over that I think that it really we need to be clear about where the town. I don't think myself the town boundary goes that far.
Well,
But it's a thing that needs to be checked out.
I would imagine part of that may well be.
yeah.
Quite possibly.
So we should not speculate on
But you
that.
see, they don't even. I mean, when I read that bit,
Yeah.
they don't know the difference. They're talking. I mean, Muller Property Group are a large body, very, fairly prominent locally, aren't they? But they don't know. They talk about green belt. There is no green belt round Crewe. It is not green belt. It's green gap, green fields.
Right.
So I mean, and if something as wrong as that, something like that is missed, and I'm not even sure about the names of the roads, like Sydney Road. So I would want to myself.
Yeah.
to
Well,
just
let's agree with what the way forward is. Right. On with right there. And then when it comes up official, then we can then look at that whether. But obviously, what's down there is that we've looked at that in good faith and said, well, that's got some green bits in. I like the idea of that, and that's
very
all that's
general
about.
comment
It's not
which you
commenting.
It's very general comment which you would make
Yeah,
to
and that's
anybody
what-
wherever the development was.
Yeah.
The fact is, we welcomed the fact that they came to us at an early stage rather than fait accompli.
Yeah.
This is what it will be. So I think that has to be noted, isn't it?
Perhaps they should look at Haslington as well.
Right. And I just want to, before we move on, and excuse me for getting a phone. I'm not making a call or anything, but I've got a form of words. This now moving on. We wrote the one about the Crewe conservation area, which would generally be here as a set item.
Yeah,
And for one reason or another, as much my fault as anything that we didn't put that in, and that even if we've got no comment tonight, it should be in because it's something that we've been working on long enough, or been held up. And I just wanted that Vicky, who I'd had conversations with reference to where we're up to, because it's clearly, in what he said, nothing to report, or we're waiting for Cheshire East, and we're actually now in a position, and Vicky wrote to myself and the clerk on the Friday, and this is an update. It says, in consultation with the chair of the Planning and Environment and the interim clerk, the Heritage Manager has contacted Purcell UK to discuss options for moving the conservation area appraisal forward with Cheshire East Council. Purcell UK are now preparing a proposal which will be presented at the November meeting. All the best, Vicky. So we know that will be an item on if Vicky's in a position, but if not, I'll just say we're still ongoing. But we must have that in for concentrating on the centre of coup on this rather than what it was all. Again, I wanted that so we're transparent, we're up there, and there's nothing, because I'm very mindful of that. If we've had no others, right, okay then. So item 9 will be budget setting, consideration of a potential committee budgets for 26/7 and to recommend to F&G for onwards recommendation of council within the collated council budget. Well, our council budget, unlike other committees that have got like casino numbers, we have £10,000. We spent some of that in the last meeting on a well-worked project. I suggest that we would be looking for the same amount in our going forward, because we know we've got a proviso if we need it for training or we need it for any other that might crop up. We've got that in reserves to do that, and that commitment was given. So that's why that's so low, because we don't really need it. But if there was a projects that come up on environment, because we used to just be planning, and we're planning environment, and that's where that we come to council and put our case and say, you know,
I can't remember ever spending it.
well, you know,
Can you?
Yeah, a couple of years, haven't we?
We've had it since I've been on.
Since F&G was for.
yeah.
Only had a couple
And
of
anyway, you're okay with the same
Yeah.
amount then?
Yeah,
Going forward.
It's only been, we don't have £10,000 for another one a couple of years. It wasn't, I don't think it was there, it was zero.
It used to be about £2,000, and that was really in case there was any training. And then it became, Pete said, let's have more, because you know, we spent come on that the Rivers Trust, and we had that pond. The pond was the biggest one. So it's really for environmental issues.
Exactly.
Okay, is that all right?
yeah.
Yeah, happy with that.
I'll just take it as we don't want. Right. The next bit would be 10, to note correspondence associated with Cheshire East regarding planning enforcement and planning issues. And then there was an appeal dated the 17th of September, advertisement consent for the erection of a post at 8 Nantwich Road. That's just to note. I don't know how that went, by the way. That's what you look that up. And if there's no further comments on that, then item 11, to note the proposed date of the next meeting of the Planning and Environment Committee is the 17th of November. I thank you for your attendance. Thank you for your